What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Snowpiercer video. We are inching closer towards the end, and this episode is setting up the glorious revolution to come, much like we had in the movie. There will of course be spoilers for this episode, so you have been warned. We open the episode pretty much as it ended, as LJ looks across Audrey, performing, talking how the Snowpiercer has plans for all of them. I'm not really sure why they welcomed her back, to be honest, considering she killed one of their singers and was chopping dicks off left, right and centre. Also, Audrey makes me think of a budget Dita Von Teese. Can we stop for Dita Von Teese? No, we have Dita Von Teese at home. The Dita Von Teese at home. Yeah, I find her singing and the performances really cringe, to be honest. But the engineer at the front of the train, the driver we had last episode, wants to admit that it is just the two of them up at the front, and Melanie as well. She says to him, "You have the train," alluding that they have taken the train off of Mr. Wilford and are fully in charge. While we know Melanie has usurped the great engineer, the engineers are also complicit in this coup. Miles is also announced to be the replacement engineer who died last episode, which I admit I must have missed, as it is just a few people there at the front of the train. I have a really bad feeling that Miles will be like the kids in the movie, where they are used to get to small engine parts on the train in dangerous procedures. As Melanie makes a speech to the train, Ruth appears on a rare day off, and is building on last week's hint that she does not actually trust Melanie, as the cracks are beginning to show. She rules the train with an iron fist, and she has an engineer mindset where it's all for the greater good, or for the train as it is. The main focus for Andre and Josie this episode, rest in peace, is attempting to actually unite the third and the tail. This is key for them to start their revolution, as they would have hundreds upon hundreds of people ready to fight, just like the movie. The key to this is in reality the janitor who runs the black market and is hauled in front of Melanie as the drugs are missing that are used to make Chronal, which we saw last episode. Really, he knows what side his bread is buttered and is really better playing both sides, as let's be honest, even in a glorious revolution, people still want to absolutely get high, and the market for drugs will always be there, but his support could swing either side. He is the important integral part. So I imagine that once we see Melanie slip, he will decide that, you know what, I'm going to side with the tail and the third. And Andre goes to Audrey again to petition third class. And Miles is given an orange, which is a huge thing, as it is naturally grown. Seeing the orange groves in the movie was eye-opening, as the train itself is self-sustainable, and Miles has spent all of his life eating those gross protein blocks. Bennett appears as well, and is ready to take him to engineering, and I still have a bad feeling for poor old Miles. Josie has poisoned it so they can get Miles back, or at least communicate to him that the revolution is coming, and he will be needed. Andre said that it is important they have someone like him in the engine room. So that's very, very big as well. As the teacher hilariously flirts with Bennett, he cares about only two things: Melanie's booty and the train. That is it. Part of me is thinking that maybe they are actually going to turn on the guy with glasses, the engineer, and maybe he will be the one who reveals everything to everyone. The payoff of Ruth and the commander flirting on the hallway comes as she states her backstory of owning a B&B in Kendal. That is a bed and breakfast, and Kendal is in the Lake District, nearly on the northeast of Britain. A mysterious man came to her and offered her a job. On the train, of course, and this man, of course, is Mr. Wilford, who we are still yet to see, but is played by 006 himself, Sean Bean. This might be the first time he's died before he's even appeared in the damn show, which is setting a new record for poor old Sean Bean. She's petitioned by LJ's parents, and the commander comes to say that, well, maybe it's time for a new head of hospitality. And really, it's time to make some changes. One problem is, they do not yet know that Mr. Wilford is no longer in charge, and their idea to change management will not work when management really is the final say on absolutely everything. So it's not looking good for their revolution either. but we'll talk about next episode's trailer at the end. After this, Andre spills the beans on all of Melanie's dirty secrets, and they actually speak to everyone who is in charge in third class as they try to hash out a plan for actually stopping her once and for all. This is key, as actually everyone does as they're told for the greater good, and that Mr. Wilford is there, and you need to really do what you're doing, like I said, to make sure the train continues, because obviously it's the last bastion of humanity. However, if they've been lied to, they're not going to put up with this or be downtrodden for much longer if they're being downtrodden for no reason. But after this, Melanie decides enough is enough and inspects the tail and takes Josie. She takes her for interrogation and explains why the train is like it is, as she inherited a train that Mr. Wilford set up. He set up the social injustice and equality because, well, he's rich, and that's how he thought that the train should go. But I will admit her motivations that she wanted to carry on the train because it's the only way to actually, or at least have the social injustice, is the only way to keep it going. It's flimsy at best, and I think the writing kind of failed that character there, and I hope we get a better explanation next week. She tortures Josie as her secret cannot get out in a very gruesome fight scene, and it's clear Josie won't talk, so she subsequently dies, and well, poor old Andre, I guess that answers the question that, well, his ex-bae is pregnant, he also loves someone else. But as she leaves the room, it's clear that she is losing the respect of the security team, which will be, no doubt, her undoing. Melanie also snaps at Ruth, which will probably kind of get her to question everything, and Miles is finally taken to engineering and told that if you're in engineering, you don't have a life. We then also see Andre play his Hail Mary, which is let LJ know the secret of Melanie. This will probably get told to her parents and cause chaos in first class, making it ripe for the taking. We will now break down next week's episode, so turn off here if you don't want any spoilers for next week. Yep, gone? Ready? Let's go. So Ruth has taken over the role, mirroring the movie somewhat, as I guess, well, a northern lady in charge, as the revolution begins. Melanie is having her own trial, and I presume that LJ has actually told everyone what has happened. But I'm not really sure why she's doing this. I guess she just likes the chaos of everything. But this all sets up the revolution, and this is going to be a very good episode next week. Very action-packed. But that's it for this video. So please do drop a like if you enjoyed it. It does help us out massively. And do subscribe with notifications on if you want more. And I'll see you soon, and goodbye.